Hello and welcome back to the All Bosses Elden Ring walkthrough. So on this one, I accidentally messed up and did not have the audio. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but my audio cut out for the game and what I was saying during playthrough. So this is going to be a voiceover of it. We are at the top of Stormveil Castle right now. As you can see, my stats here: level 34, 16 vigor, 25 mind, 17 endurance, 11 strength, 15 dexterity, 25 intelligence. We are trying to get our strength and dexterity up to where we can wield the weapon we're going to be using for melee the rest of the game. Focusing on mind and intelligence primarily here. Bit of a glass cannon type build at the start, but feeling confident. Again, we are at the top of Stormveil Castle, and we are trying to get through to clear this out 100%, get all the items so that we can, before we beat Godrick. Okay. We are using Radigan's Scarsteel to increase everything but our intelligence. It is a nice little bonus to our health and strength, dexterity, and endurance. So that's why we do have it on. It does increase some the damage we take. I believe I explained this a bit in the last part when we first got it, but it is, if you are familiar with the game, it is very helpful. If you're not familiar with the game, if you're new to the game, it can still be helpful, as the extra health that it gives from your vigor does help balance out the extra damage that you take. So we have the Demi-Human's Queen Staff at +5. We have been steadily cranking that up as we've been working on it, and we are using Banished Knight Engval as our summon. We do not have our main summon, I believe, yet, that we use for pretty much the rest of the game. Not going to use Mimic Veil, or not Mimic Veil, Mimic Tear, as that uses health, not FP, and we want to use only summons that use FP to help us through the game, as that's what a sorcerer would do. A sorcerer would never want to sacrifice health because they don't have as much to begin with, so that's why I'm not going to be using Mimic Tear in this run through. Our Uchigatana is our melee of choice at this point until we get Mimic Veil. Or, not Mimic Veil. Oh my goodness. Till we get Moon Veil. Does have nice bleed buildup. And it's got pretty low stat requirements for using it. Here we go. Our armor set, we're using the chainmail for our chest piece, the Mad Pumpkin Head helmet, Exile Greaves, and we're using the Astrologer's Glove just because it kind of goes with the white sleeves of the chainmail. And we're going to continue through since we've completed up to this top portion of Stormveil. Okay, so we just rested there to replenish, and then we're going to take on, from the Rampart side of Grace, the rest of Stormveil. These birds are rather annoying, so make sure you take them out. They do throw barrels that do explode if they're sitting on them, so make sure that you take them out. Try to do it from range. The birds in this game are annoying to begin with. We see there, they can take out each other with the explosions. Explosions are not discriminating in who they hurt. So as we continue over here, this is the jump down spot if you want to get to the very bottom of Stormveil, which we will be doing later, to a shortcut lift and a Crucible Knight, but for now we're going to grab this item in this corner. There's a bird. We got lucky here. It killed itself. As I said, not discriminating in it. We get a smithing stone 2 out of it, plus a flight pinion from the bird. We're going to continue on and go through here. And we have 4 smithing stone 2s and 1 smithing stone 3 at this point. We need 2 more smithing stone 2s to get up to +6 on our demi-human staff, which is our goal. And we're going back to the site of grace. Oh no, we're going back. Oh, because I'm not sure why we came back to the round table hold here. Maybe to up. Oh, I might be upgrading the Uchi. We shall find out what my plan is here. Yeah, I'm going to be upgrading the Uchi while I have some runes. At least 2+3, I believe I might be taking the Uchi up to +4. Okay. So we did go up to +4 on the Uchi so that we could have a bit better damage output from our melee in those sticky situations when we can't get off a cast without taking a big hit. Something like that. And we will be going back to the Rampart Tower Site of Grace in order to get through Stormveil. Gonna have to take out these birds again to go through this path. We have our spacing and our range a little bit better, but we still can't hit because magic is like that. Can be annoying sometimes with magic in terms of trying to get it all set up, lined up properly. But if they're flying straight at you, it makes it a whole bunch easier. Here, we take out the bird. Don't have to worry about it. We're not going to be going down the jump again. Once more, we don't want to do that just yet. We want to clear out kind of the top part first, everything above. We're going to get this bird just for the runes, hoping that it kills itself again, which it did. I don't know why I'm rolling so much. It's interesting going back and watching gameplay, especially a little while after you've played through it. So normally, when you have a weapon in your left hand and it has a weapon art, and you have a weapon in your right hand that doesn't have a weapon art, normally the weapon in the left hand's weapon art will be used. As you saw there, I was swinging around like crazy. It does not work that way with the Uchi or the Moonveil because Unsheathed requires both hands. So we can see the area that we're gonna try to get to. I don't even think I still made it to that top part through the rest of it, but that's where we're gonna go to the very, very bottom of Stormveil Castle later on. For now, we're gonna come over here, and that's pretty much where we're trying to get to, but we're gonna take out enemies along the way. We have this guy. Now both of these, the Exile Knight and the Banished Knight there, will come up the ladder. So we know he's coming up the ladder to come get us. So we back up to create a little space for us to take care of this. And down goes the Banished Knight. He didn't drop any of his armor set, unfortunately. I like the Banished armor set, it's kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to go down that ladder, and we are going to go speak to Rogier. Rogier is a sorcerer friend of ours that we meet here first in Stormveil Castle. He is also available as an NPC summon for the Margit fight. So, talking to Rogier, we see he sells Ashes of War that are magic based. So, the Carrying Greatsword, which is not a bad Ash of War, the Spinning Weapon, which I believe we're going to purchase here, and the Glintstone. Glintstone lets you use, without a staff, that the Pebble spell. Which is nice. The spinning weapon is nice for the staff if you put it on the staff, so that you can kind of defend yourself a little bit better. So Glintstone Pebble we see there, it lets you put that on a weapon. You can then cast Glintstone Pebble without having a staff. It's not as good or as efficient as using a staff and being a mage. So we're not as impressed by it, but it does have pretty good poise damage and stun capabilities. So that's talking to Rogier. He's going to be here for a little while, basically until you get far enough along. He will disappear if you attempt to fight Godrick. So be prepared for that. He's not there the whole time. And we're just going to continue along. Apparently I was really enjoying rolling. Usually if I'm rolling a lot, it's just me testing to make sure that I remembered that I am not over encumbered or too heavy with my equipment load. We take out this guy outside that fog door. The fog door is because of a stone sword key that we have to use at the other side of that. Come in here, get a golden room 2, and we're going to have another banished knight in the next room. Oh no, not a banished knight. We're going to be above the grafted scion. So we have a larger exile knight with a huge battle axe here that we take out. We have the grafted scion down there at the bottom, which we are going to cheese from up here to make it much easier, especially as a mage. This is the same type of enemy. I don't believe it's the exact same grafted scion that we have, because there are multiples of the ones with the sword and the shield. The first one that you kill is the only one that between the boss. No, they all have a chance to drop the sword and the shield. The boss one at the beginning of the game that kills you right off the bat is the only one that is a guaranteed drop of the sword and the shield. So we're going to stand up here and just take out the grafted scion because he can't reach us. Yay for magic. So we've taken out the grafted scion. We are going to continue with some of the upper parts. So the bags there, being that we can jump across, jump over the wall, there are bags on the other side so we can get back. And this is how you get to the other side to get the chest and the item that's on the other side of the room from the grafted scion. I may put in, I haven't decided yet, but you'll find out, you'll know. So for my little silent parts, there might be background music, some light background music. But we're not going to jump into that room with the Banished Knight because that doesn't get us to our objective, which is the other side of the room where the grafted scion was to get the chest and the weapon. We have this enemy down here waiting for us if you do jump down. But we're going to come across this rooftop, see our ultimate objectives, where we're going to try to be getting. I believe I can't. I thought there was an item up here, but there is not. So now we're going to jump down where we killed that enemy. There are some dogs down there. We're going to kill the dogs from up here because, again, why make things difficult for ourselves? If you're not resting frequently at the at your sites of grace, then the enemies don't respawn, and killing things on your way through makes things a lot easier. So we're going to try. Oh, we lost our lock on. We don't want to fall down here yet, because then we got to come all the way back around to come back up here, and it's really annoying. We're using the stars right now because they track, so we don't have to have perfect angle on the dog to be able to hit it. We just don't want to lose our lock on. So I believe I move. Yeah, I'm going to move here, go to the other side. Catch the lock on, let enough hit it so that it dies. We get our runes, switch back to our pebble, good old glintstone pebble, and we're on the other side, and there's the chest, and there's an enemy. There's the enemy. Easy 1-2 combo, and we get the chest, pickled turtleneck, which increases stamina regen, and a stone sword key, which we really wanted. We have another, we can see that guy there. We can open this door, which is a bit of a shortcut to the area that we were in. So if you go through and you kill the grafted scion and then you go past the grafted scion, you can come up to this part. And there we get smoldering butterfly off this guy, and there is the Banished Knight. Well, we were smart. We prepped for the Banished Knight. We're going to come up here to try to make things maybe a little easier. We do get hit. Forgot that was an overhand attack. Overhand attacks are going to reach us. But we do take him down without dying, thankfully. And we can get the Mimic Veil. The thing that I've been calling Mimic Tier. We can get the Mimic Veil, which does allows you to copy an item in the area, or sometimes it'll even be like a like not enemies. So it lets you copy things that are either unattackable, like spirit animals. You can sometimes, in certain areas, you can become a spirit animal. But as you can see here, I become the stand with the suit of armor. It's fun. It's good for. It's nice. It's funny for PvP because people will be running around. If you position yourself in a good spot, people will be running around like, "Where is he? Where is he? Where are they? Where are they?" But yeah, and you can fool regular enemies with it too sometimes. But other than that, no other real practical uses. I've seen people use it in some really interesting ways, and it makes for some interesting encounters. But there we go. We're going to kill these guys and continue on. Okay. So yeah, if you position yourself right, you can hide like that. It's good for like PvP invasions. Like if you get invaded, you can just pop a mimic veil. So this area, it really shows how upgrading your weapon does so much. Because all said and told, our intellect isn't extremely high, at 25. But we do a really good amount of damage. Under that painting is the Highland Axe. So upgrade your weapons, make that your main focus, especially with strength and like dex builds. Use your levels to upgrade your vigor and your endurance, and just level enough to get to enough to use your the specific weapon that you want to use. But focus on getting the smithing stones to upgrade the weapon that you want to use. That will have a much greater effect on the damage output that you do than your stats alone. You have to put a lot into stats to make a level 1 weapon as powerful as minimum stats with upgraded weapon. So we took a lift there, which is a shortcut up to this site of grace, the Rampart Tower site of grace. We came back to the round table hold because I don't think we're meant to go to the round table hold there. Oh, because we got the chrysalid. So we're going to talk to Roderica here. We have the chrysalid's memento that we got. I just realized that I haven't been speaking during the times that they are speaking, but you can read it. You're not going to hear them speaking because I messed up the audio. But we give the chrysalid's memento to her, and she kind of gets like a newfound lease on life, and decides to head to the round table hold, which is where we want her. Alright, so we so Roderica should be back, should now be at the ground table hold. You can see she's standing over there by the fireplace. And we'll get her where we need her to be able to do what her job is here. So as I've been labeling women in this game, Roderica is Spirit Waifu because she is a spirit tuner. She upgrades our spirit summons. We have Moon Waifu. We have a couple others. There's Teacher Waifu. So we got an item from her if we give her the Chrysalids memento. A golden seed. After she gives you that, you go talk to Hugh, her blacksmith friend. He will talk about her. How it doesn't seem like she's much use as a warrior type, but he did meet someone that was like her, and you can sense something about her. So then we talk to Roderica again. At this point, we do have some grave gloveworts, so we can upgrade mid and low tier summons, spirit summons, which is why we want to get Roderica to her summon spot. Plus, we want that red hood of hers. She says she'll talk to Master Hugh. We talk to Hugh again. We ask her to watch over her. He says he doesn't believe it. I mean, she's Spirit Waifu. He thinks he's ugly and useless other than smithing. So we're gonna rest. And Roderica will be in her new spot. Yay, Roderica, we love you. Spirit Waifu. She's so sweet and kind. From here we can spirit tune or upgrade our spirits. So we've been using Engvall. We do have Lutel. So Engvall is nice. He is a very nice mid-tier. Oh, that's right. The mid-tiers require Ghost Gloveworts. So Engvall he's very tanky, rather aggressive. So he is nice to level. Now, I tend to use Lutel more often, which is why throughout this run, you'll see I'm going to end up leveling Lutel more than I level Engvall, because Lutel he has better dodge mechanics with him being a Mausoleum Knight, Headless Mausoleum Knight. He teleports around, so his survivability is a bit higher. Plus, he has the shield. He just tends to not be as aggressive as Engvall. So sometimes, as I run into in playthroughs, in this playthrough, sometimes he won't grab aggro, and it's like, excuse me, Lutel, can you do something so that I can breathe? Engvall, you won't have that problem. Engvall will keep attacking, but he'll end up taking more damage because he doesn't have the teleporting ability. Here, in the original playing, in the recording, I was talking about Jelly and the effects of Jelly. So if you don't mind tanking the aggro of a boss or enemies, Jelly is a very good support type summon. Long range, can take a hit somewhat well, moderately well. Does not deal a lot of physical damage, but has a really nice long range attack. So good for that extra DPS if you need it to help you with the boss. I used my Grave Gloveworts to upgrade my demi-humans because I get 5 of them, which can be very helpful when it comes to multiple enemies. So here's where I decided to go with Lutel over Engvall. Even though Lutel has 4 more FP cost, I am going to go with Lutel here, I believe. Just because of his ability to teleport makes him harder to hit. His survivability is a bit better than Engvall's. But Engvall was very helpful. Engvall helped us take out the tree spirit, or not the tree spirit, the tree knight, tree sentinel. Good lord. Yes, Engvall helped us take out the tree sentinel. So everything I just explained in the right now, the recording that pause there is just because I was explaining it all right then. So here we're going to switch out Engvall for Lutel, because Lutel is +2. Now, because it is early game it is, if you follow kind of like their intended path up to Liurnia, it's harder to find upgrade items, the Ghost Gloveworts, for your mid and high tier summons. Number 1, because it's expected that you're probably going to want to upgrade your high tier summons. And number 2, because summons are such a strong asset in this game that upgrading them, if you upgrade them really high, really fast, you're just going to roll through stuff, and it's going to make the game seem easier than it actually is. So we come back to the dogs in this pile of bodies, and we get the Crimson Hood. This is the exact same hood as what Roderica was wearing. When she becomes your spirit tuner, you notice she's not wearing it anymore. we're going to wear it for a little while. It lessens our equip load. Also, has the added effect of adding +1 to your vigor. So, you get a bit more health. Here I am doing a little bit of fashion ring or fashion souls. Because, let's be honest, if I'm not playing very well, I'm probably going to get one shot by a bunch of stuff. So, it doesn't really matter what armor I'm wearing. It might save me from getting one shot, but I will have very little health. And at this point in the game, I don't have a lot of flasks. I made the jump. I don't have a lot of flasks, so I want to prioritize FP flasks. So that's why it doesn't really matter what armor I'm wearing. But if you jump up here and come around this way, we're going to get a talisman. We just have a few enemies we have to take out to do so. So I hug this wall because then I don't aggro the guys up here by killing that guy. There are 4 in total. I'm going to take a couple hits here. Always remember, as a mage, if someone's firing arrows at you, strafe. The arrows have a bit of tracking to them, but not a whole bunch, unless they're magic arrows. The magic arrows can sometimes have really crazy tracking. And of course the giant arrows fired by the golems have a huge explosion usually because of the impact. But we climb up the ladder after taking out those guys, and on this body is a claw talisman, which increases the effectiveness. It strengthens your jump attacks. And then we can jump across here. You can kill those birds, so you can get the 4-toed fowl feet that you need for green, gold and silver pickled fowl feet. Silver increases your item discovery, gold increases rune drop. And you can attempt to jump down there, which we failed, and I died. Because I failed in the worst possible way, to where I slipped down to a lower level even further. But it's okay, because we don't have to go back up there for anything, unless we want the runes. But I'm pretty sure we spent most of our runes beforehand, so we don't really... Doesn't matter, because I'm going to fail this jump, and those runes are gone. So that jump can be tricky if you don't line it up right. You jump too early. If you try to jump too late, you're going to land and you're going to not jump. You're just going to fall. We do have the golden seed, but we don't have enough for a flask yet. I grabbed those just to clear the marker. And then we're going to jump across. We're going to make it this time. And now we're going to go take out this flying bird. Which I'm not close enough to hit there. Randomly, the second one hit, but not the first. I miss a whole bunch of magic attacks. It's going to hit me, I believe. Yep, right there. But we kill it. We have Flight Pinion. That one, if you notice, it has like a pouch around its mouth. It breathes fire at you. So I grab the gesture. I do my normal thing I do every time I grab this gesture. And I swap out one of the default gestures. And I sit with the dead guy. Alright, moving on. We see a stone sword key block door, which is where we're going to go next. So we drop down to this side. We can see that's the gate room. Over there we have an exiled knight and a banished knight. Actually, I think they're called exile mercenaries. So if you're afraid of this jump and you don't want to lose any health, you can aim for the statue that's down there. You can land on the statue's head, but generally it doesn't damage you if you jump down. You get a somber smithing stone 2, which is good. We will need that. And we are down by the grafted scion room, actually. The opposite side from where the dogs were. And we're going to use stone sword key and go in this room. Now be careful in this room, do not just run in. Also make sure you clear your messages whenever you use the stone sword key. Generally we like to have 2 in our inventory at all times. But there are 2 exiled mercenaries here, so make sure you are careful. Don't just rush in here trying to grab the items. They will get up and they will hurt you. The Hawk Crest wooden shield. We get the Misery Cord dagger, and that guy I forgot about because I forgot that I died a couple times and he reset since we killed him the last time. And the Iron Wet Blade, which lets us add keen and quality status to our Ashes of War changes. So with the regular Wet Blade that we got, we can do heavy and standard. Heavy is a strength-based scaling. So if you're, let's say you have a weapon that normally scales with dex, but you have a ton of strength, and you have a dex weapon, and your dex isn't very high, and you want some scaling to go with that, you want the scaling to be a bit better for the stats that you have, and you have a ton of strength, you can always go heavy. We're going to use the elevator here to go back up. But if you go with heavy for your type of Ash of War, the base damage goes down a little bit, but your scaling switches to a higher strength scaling for that weapon. So if it didn't have any strength scaling, it will have strength scaling. If it had lower strength scaling, the strength scaling goes up a little bit. Keen is for dex, and quality is dex and strength, just not as high as if it was keen or heavy. We're going to come over here, take out the birds, because we're going to do the jump down and run into my favorite enemies. They are the coolest, in my opinion, in terms of regular enemies, mini bosses type, not full bosses. Some of them are full bosses that you can run into, and that is the Crucible Knight. But that's why we're taking out these birds, I'm pretty sure here. So here I am trying to get a good angle. These birds have actually had their feet taken off, and these swords attach. The swords kind of wiggle and swing so that they can get a little more power behind them. But they actually have no real feet. They just have those swords. So you want to inch your way off of this edge so you land on here. There is nothing on this side. And this is the side that we want to get down. Now the safest way is to walk into the wall. Walk at an angle into the wall. You will land on this ledge every single time, no problem. And we're going to walk to the end of the ledge, walk straight off, and grab this, which is the Marred wooden shield. And we're going to drop down the rest of the way. It's very foggy. It gets very deep down here. And we are going to drop down here. And whee! That crumbles. If a floor crumbles, you will not die or get hurt from the fall. It's designed that way because it's supposed to happen. That includes platforms that you are supposed to jump down to. We missed that scarab. You can reload your game. Just quit out and then continue, and you will come back to the scarab. The scarab will be there, just like in Dark Souls for the crystal lizards. This is my one attempt at the Crucible Knight here, using magic. The Crucible Knight, he's gonna block a lot. Crucible Knights have pretty good magical defense with their shield. He smacks me. We die. That's usually what happens when I run into Crucible Knights, especially lower levels. Because Crucible Knights are tough. So Crucible Knights, a little bit of the lore behind them while we're getting back there. Crucible Knights are Knights of Godfrey, the quote-unquote first Elden Lord under Marika. Under Marika's rule, that helped to unite and conquer the lands between. Well, technically unite, but conquer the lands between. They were highly respected knights that of the Crucible. Ooh, I did not do that right, and I might die here. Yeah, I do die here. So the Great Tree, which was here before the Erd Tree in the lands between, was the main, basically like a tree of life kind of thing, from the life sprung forth from the Crucible. Now the Crucible is what gives dragons their power. They created the dragons, made them immortal. I'm showing here gameplay where if you hit them with the glintstone pebble and then when they're flying switch to your stars, it is much easier to kill them because the stars track. This one, I think I stick with glintstone pebble because it keeps flying at you, because it has a far way to go. And then we're going to take out this other one using the stars technique. Okay. But, so the Crucible Knights were knights that were recruited by Godfrey to help with the conquering of the lands between. They followed Godfrey, very loyal to Godfrey, and they were very strong. The second strongest knights considered in the game, and the lore. So they, when Godfrey was banished and exiled from the lands between after conquering them, helping to conquer the lands between for Marika, the Crucible Knights stayed behind. They were not they did not go with Godfrey to leave the lands between with the Tarnished. So here we see we are going to get this because we reset it. So we will get the Ash of War Storm Assault from that scarab. Back to what I was talking about, because I'm going to attempt to fight this Crucible Knight again, but really end up just running past him and running away. I think I might die here one more time, in a craziness with the Crucible Knight. There's a Somber Smithing Stone 2 in the corner, which I was focused on fighting him before I didn't get. So the Crucible Knights did not leave with Godfrey and the Tarnished, and the other Tarnished, to return later. They stayed, but they were leaderless and without purpose at that point. I'll get smacked there, and I pretty much nope out of this fight at this point and say, see ya. So they are just kind of wandering around all over the place. We see one with Lady Tanith in Volcano Manor. we see them scattered all over. One is in an Everjail. So we take the ladder up. We're trying to cheese him a little bit. So we tried to get him to follow, and we take the lift up, and if you're lucky, you can get him to fall in the lift shaft and fall down and die. We were not lucky. He reset himself and started walking back to his normal position and patrol before we could get him to chase us in here, so we have to lure him in here again. Before we actually lure him, we're going to come over here and check for items. I don't believe there's anything over here. I think it's just a small little building that you can use for cover. As you can see, there's nothing up top. So now we're going to go lure the Crucible Knight, hopefully to his death, through minimal fighting. Out of range. So you see, even when he's not blocking, I don't do a ton of damage, and I'm stuck in the animation, which is actually very scary when fighting a Crucible Knight at a low level. Because Crucible Knights have their level set. They are very high level. So I'm slowing down so that I can try to bait him in here. Fortunately, he does not fall down the shaft. So we are stuck with the attempt. We're bringing him down again. So we're going to go for the other way that you can do it, which is luring him onto the elevator when you send it up. Oh, he's right there. We weren't expecting him to be right there. So we lure him on, we send it up, and he's going to very soon here. Bloop! There he goes. He has killed himself, trying to get back down. And, yeah. That takes care of him. And that is the first, like, the kind of first one of the main hidden areas of Stormveil Castle. With the Crucible Knight as kind of a mini boss. It's not an actual boss because it doesn't get a boss bar. But we got the aspect of the horn from the Crucible Knight, which is an incantation. It's a Crucible incantation. Wearing the Crucible Knight's armor set boosts Crucible incantations, so they become stronger. We take this back up, and we are by the Site of Grace, the Rampart Tower Site of Grace. So we're going to rest, replenish. Check and see how close we are to a level. We have our Ash of War menu. And this is where I'm just going over that the Iron Whetstone gives us keen and quality ability attributes that we can attach to our Ashes of War. Standard and heavy comes with the normal wet blade. As you can see, keen boosts the dexterity, quality boosts dexterity and strength, and heavy is strength. So it goes from a D to a B. We're not worried about that because we're not putting into strength or dexterity. And we're going to go for this jump again. And we're going to continue on in the upper part of Stormveil Castle to eventually get where we're trying to go. Um, at the end of this recording, I did figure out the sound issue and get that fixed to a degree. I I have no idea why I didn't realize there was no sound coming through. I think I was getting sound in the game to me, but not like to the recording. So that's why this happened. So we're gonna drop down here so that we can take out this exiled mercenary and the banished knight. We take out the mercenary first. I thought I was too far away. Just spam, 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 cringe spam, get hit, use the Uchi to finish it off. And he dropped his helm. I'm getting some frame droppage there. Sorry for that. When you come across this bridge, when you take out these two exiled guards, to the left is where we are going to be going eventually, but we're going to go to the right first to clear that part of the castle. We get a cookbook. That's where we want to go, that room right over there. I think I actually equipped the looking glass here. The telescope. Which I never used before this point. As you can tell, I don't even know how to zoom in right then. See? But that's the room that we want to get to eventually. I accidentally shot off a spell there. I do figure it out. Strike flash by accident. We read the description, it just tells us that we can. And I figure it out. So that's the room that we will be trying to get a painting. Which reminds me, in all the future parts, I still have not done any of the paintings yet. I still need to look that up. Get the painting, all of the paintings, and find them all for you. There's no bosses per se go with that. But we're going to continue on. You want to go to the left here because it drops you onto this roof, or this little platform. Which makes fighting these guys from long range easier. That was a test shot, that's why I hesitated on the second one. Because I wanted to make sure I could hit him, and then we're going to take out the big guy. They didn't drop their armor. I'm trying to get the exile armor. Now across this way, I'm going to climb back up so you can see it. There is a banished knight that is visible. I'm going to come over here so that I can show you using the looking glass that I now know how to use. So off in the distance there, you see we have a banished knight that you can see. And if you look very carefully through the slit, it's not a shadow that's moving, although it seems like it would be. It's actually the cloak of another knight that is hidden out of view. You cannot see him until usually until you start fighting the halberd banished knight, and it's a sword and shield banished knight. So it is very interesting. We're gonna skip fighting them because there's like one minor item that's over there, and I'm gonna jump down over here, which I didn't know I could do until I did it here. And I'm going to take out the guys that are down here. Because those Banished Knights are not worth it. It's too much of a fight for the item that's over there, in my opinion. So that Banished Knight has now spotted us because we were jumping and making noise. And we're going to kill him. And then we're going to drop down. We're going to take out the rest of them. Those ballistas that they use fire explosive arrows. So coming up that path, if you don't kill these guys here, like if you don't die like I'm going to later on, and they all reset, this path can be very annoying because of the ballistas and the explosive arrows. And we're going to take out that guy. The guy across the way has been alerted. He's going to try to chuck pots at us, explosive pots. We're going to try to stay out of range and kill him, which we do. We have this guy on another ballista. And then we can jump in here and grab this item. And a smoldering butterfly off the body. So we get the arbalest. Nice little crossbow. He didn't drop anything. We are still looking for the exile armor. That's what our goal is in all of this. So the thing about FromSoft games is they highly reward... He dropped a mushroom. They highly reward exploration. Because you can find alternate paths to places you're trying to get to. The reason why we go down here is because we're going to grab a Site of Grace after killing these guys. That will help us later on after we defeat Godrick. You get the mushroom. There's a message. We get another mushroom. Still no exile armor other than the greaves. There are gloves, gauntlets, and a chest piece, and actually the helm. We're going to take out a couple guys. There's kind of mini room farming here. Basically the guys closest that might get attracted to us. But our main goal is to get this Site of Grace that's over here. We are sneaking because there is a lion guardian in the opposite corner. We grab every Trina's lily we can find, and we are going to save those. Do not ever sell your Trina's lilies for runes, as you can make sleep pots and sleep arrows with them. And sleep pots and sleep arrows are very useful against the Godskin types. So don't sell your Trina's lilies. We're going to grab this Site of Grace. There's no reason for us to go to the tower because we can't open it, but that's where we will go for Godrick's Great Rune to activate that. We're just going to grab the item, which is the Bolt Drake Talisman, which is helps with lightning damage negation. And here I pause to talk about the tower a little bit, but that's where we'll be going to activate Godrick's Great Rune. You have to run past 3 golems and then take a teleporter, which teleports you to the base of the tower. But we're not going to worry about that because we don't have Godrick's Great Rune yet unactivated, but we still don't have it either way. So we're going to sneak back through here, trying not to aggro the Lion Guardian. It's outside. We have statues of the Banished Knights here. I make a comment in the recording that you can't hear about how crazy it would be if the halberd users had a shield. They'd be so overpowered. So I was going to sneak out, and I believe I take on the Lion Guardian by cheesing him and summoning Lutel. Because you can summon here. So Lutel grabs aggro. I bust out the magic. Well, the Lion Guardians are actually pretty good at dodging, but the Lion Guardian cannot come in here, so if you stand back just far enough, you won't get hit, and you can spam and cheese your way through him. I switch to the stars because it'll track and always hit him, especially at this range, and him trying to continually attack us. Lutel doesn't take much damage. We get Somber Sithing Stone 1, Beast Blood, and an Old Fang, and that Lion Guardian will never respawn. So, the basic gameplay mechanic is if they disappear in like the fog, like if they scatter into ashes, they will not respawn, usually. But if they don't, if their body just drops, they will respawn. So these guys can drop Smithing Stone 1s, so it is a good idea to loot them. Lutel is attacking guys up on the up top, which are on ballistas, and have crossbows, as I just got shot. And I'm not in range to hit that one right now. I'm 99% sure I'd end up dying here. We got the gauntlets. Feel good about that. We get hit by that crossbow arrow because there's another guy up there. There's actually a bunch of them up there. Out of Cerulean Tears. Trying to keep my distance from the crossbow user. Lutel gets stuck in a corner. And I'm like, Lutel, what you doing? That's a wall. We come up here, and I'm going to try to take this guy out. But I think I do. No, I do not. I'm going to get hit and die. Always watch your back. Situational awareness is key. So I'm gonna here. I'm about to show you. So I'm upset with Lutel. So I summon the demi-humans to see if I can do a little bit better with them in crowd control because there are more of them. I don't remember at this point if the Lion Guardian respawns, but if you see here, as you see here, it does not. So sneaking is not as important. I'm going to summon my demi-humans, which we just recently upgraded. So now I have 5 demi-humans that are going to follow me around and help me beat on these guys. For multiple enemies like this, I find the demi-humans are a bit better choice because of the 5. There are 5 of them, so they can grab more people's attention. Less chance of us getting spotted and having the main aggro close range. Especially since we're using the Scar Seal. I did not cast that well enough timing wise, so I got smacked. Had to finish him off with the Uchi. I was going to get smacked again. But this also gives us another chance at trying to get the Exile armor. As you can see, my demi-humans are doing some work. I don't have to watch my back as much because the demi-humans are going to do a lot of the work. Now, they do get smacked around a little bit. I'm trying to grab all the items that they're dropping to try to get the exile armor. But we're gonna hide there so we can't, so no one spots us. Crossbowmen won't be able to hit us with crossbows, and let my demi-humans do some work. This guy tries to interrupt my demi-humans in their work, so I kill him. You're so rude. And they teleport back over to me. We got the armor! Woohoo! So the exile armor is heavier. But I think I'm able to equip all of it. Yep, and stay at medium load. The only thing we don't have is the exile hood, but we don't care. We're going to stick with the red hood, the crimson hood. Crimson Noble's hood, I believe it's called. And we know that these guys are up here, so we're going to take them out. Our demi-humans are no use to us here, because they can't reach them. They don't throw things like Lutel through spears. But this is going. We have this guy. We actually thread the needle with the tree, and our demi-humans, in their aggressiveness, decide, hey, let's take out these guys down here. They actually probably saved me a little bit there. I take a hit, but because I'm out of magic, I need to flask. Let my demi-humans do a little bit of work. They are getting rocked by this, by ballista that I can't see behind the tree. There's actually two of them. I'm trying to get an angle on this guy. There we go. That guy's down. One more ballista, which we're just going to get out of line of sight for. It's going to focus a bit more on the demi-humans, which is good for us. And then one of them is going to actually... We did lose a demi-human and all that. Well, we're going to take him out. And now we've taken out all of the guards along this path, so we can grab this. There's a different route that you can take to get to this spot. I will be showing how to get there later on as we're running through. But now we're going to grab the other item that's up here. Oh, we didn't. Because I'm stupid and I didn't see it. But we're going to grab the Site of Grace. It seems weird that there's two Sites of Grace right near each other, but it's only semi-weird. If you didn't open the main gate using Gostock, you can open the main gate here. By pushing that handle, and it will open the gate. For now, we're going to jump down, and we're going to grab the items that are down here. As you can see, that's the main Stormveil Castle gate. Site of Grace. And we're going to continue on. We're going to head the way that we're supposed to get to this Site of Grace that's by Godrick. I stopped there because I realized, hey, wait a minute, these guys are back. I forgot. I can't reach that guy, but he's got a good angle to throw stuff at us. Might die here. I know I take a ton of damage. I also know I skip the trolls. Or the troll that's up here. So do get hit here. I forgot that my magic was low. I'm afraid I'm going to get hit by the pots and die. He's just far enough behind that rock where I can't hit him because he's out of range, and I can't hit him when I'm in range because I hit the rock in front of him. When we kill him, I die. I get hit by the exploding arrows because they respawned. But we're gonna skip those guys because we don't need to do them anymore. So if you walk out that door, you're gonna get fired upon almost immediately by like 5 different ballistas. So don't walk out that door unless you're ready to roll. Just like going up the main gate, be ready to roll. There is an item here that we didn't get, which is the Commoner's Simple Garb, which can be altered. Basically anything with a cloak can be altered to take the cloak off. It does reduce the damage negation, but if you don't like cloaks, you don't have to have the cloaks. We're going to go back to the Rampart Tower site of Grace. And we're going to do the jump down. So the last time we did this area, I failed my jump. I failed my jump. I wasn't going to get the runes anyway, but I failed my jump. Like a fool, I failed my jump. But grab that to clear from the marker from the map. Then we jump across. If you drop down to the step side, then you get to. Oh no! I never did this side. This door. That's what we're gonna do here, and then we're gonna kind of sneak across. I think attempt to sneak across, but fail. To grab some items. So we're gonna come down in this door, and we are going to kill some rats. There's a stone sword key block door, which we want to get to. Take out all the rats here. Rats drop rune arcs and golden runes, so farming rats is a good way to get low level golden runes. They're always 1s. Sometimes the big ones will drop like 2s or 3s. But they also drop rune arcs, kind of like how they would drop humanity in Dark Souls. So we use Stone Sword Key, we get the Godslayer's Seal, and the Godskin Prayer Book. And we come out here, grab the item, and we are above, at this point, these guys by that site of Grace. You can take them out, go down to that site of Grace if you want to. I am not going to take them out. I think I go back through the room, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I just go back through here, because this is where we want to go to help get almost all the items. I did miss an item down in that area, but it was a low item. I know it's not a purple or a legendary. And we're going to go through this area. There are a lot of exile guards here, so I summon my demi-humans to go have some fun while I sneak around and attempt not to die. Grab this item, some fire arrows. Demi-humans are going at it. We have almost lost one. So we're going to help from up here. See, that situational awareness saved me there. Did not know I was getting fired at. I turned around, saw an arrow coming at me, and it saved my life. Well, saved me from taking damage. I wouldn't have died. Saved me from having to heal, at the very least. So while they're cleaning up the area, we're going to grab the items. Lots of smoldering butterflies. A golden rune off the body. Some grease off the body. They're still having fun. We've lost 2, which is not good. Take some damage there. My demi-human summons don't like that, so they come after. They came to help me. Oh, now we've lost 2. We're about to lose a 3rd. I am going to die here. Not to these guys. Because I do something a little bit stupid. So we got the pike, which is a weapon that they like to use. I thought I was going to backstab that guy, but I didn't. Then we pebble him. And that's the main gate. Or that's not the main gate. That is a gate that leads to the troll. No, not the troll. That is the gate that leads to the fire bolt, explosive bolts that get fired at you as you come around the corner. So you can drop down onto the roof from the rooftop jump. And we're going to go up to the spot where you would go if you did drop down to get that item, which is a wooding great shield. Not as effective as a metal one. And then I go after the dog here. And this guy raffle stomps me. Because I grab aggro, I get stabbed, I get stuck, and he just wipes the floor with me because I got stuck because I was not paying attention to my environment. So, if you are running a melee build and you've been working on upgrading your weapons and your stats a bit, you can take him out. He's a little bit of he's one of the tougher enemies in the area. That's not a boss, like on par with like the, I almost didn't make that jump, on par with like the grafted scion. I believe at this point I'm going to show you the jump so we can avoid most of the people. And I realize that's not the way I want to go. So if you come over to this side and you jump up on here, you can walk all the way around. Paths like this are the most anxiety-driven paths. They jump up my anxiety like crazy because I always feel like I'm going to fall. I believe in the recording, this is where I talked about FromSoft rewarding alternate paths and exploration. You can drop down there, avoid the Banished Knight and the Exiled Guard, and then only have to fight these 2 Exiled Guards. You can jump across this roof. There's an enemy down there. It's the item we got earlier. Take out this enemy. You drop the greaves again. And we're going to attempt to sneak around to grab our, I believe I'm going to try to grab our runes here. That guy is like, I know something's there, but it's dark. Even though I have a torch on a stick. I have a torch pole. We're trying to get him to actually commit so we can kill him. And we're trying not to aggro too many, alert too many other people. So we sneak over, we're going to grab our runes. That's a fair amount of runes for the level we're at. So the way I see it when it comes to runes is if you are close to a level, we're also going to sneak to not aggro the big guy to get this painting. The way I see it, if you're not like close to a level, like I'd say within like a quarter of the way to a level, it's not worth it to try to go back and get your runes most of the time. It's just usually it's too dangerous. The enemies will have respawned. So if you cleared out like a large area, the enemies will have respawned. You can try to just run and grab your runes, but it's usually you're at least gonna get smacked. But we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna grab a Site of Grace. That path is the path that will take us to the boss, the normal path that most people will take, but we're gonna grab the Site of Grace. We're gonna end up taking an alternate path there. So we want this Site of Grace so that we don't have to ever go through all that again. Like that whole area. We're gonna replenish. And that's a lift back up to the other Site of Grace, if I'm not mistaken. So even more shortcuts. Oh no, that's the lift that takes us down to... No, this is the one that takes us up to the other Site of Grace. Oh, no, to the path that we will take to get to Godrick. So, there are a bunch of living jars over that way. We're not going to mess with them just yet. We're going to grab this Ash of War. And the Kokiri. And we're going to go to that spot. So out here, you have a bird, and we have a knight, I believe. It's an exiled knight. Oh, technically a banished knight, but wearing the an exile hood. So be careful with him. He is kind of strong. Not quite as strong as the full banished knight. He's an exiled knight. The flight pinion, that's a dead bird. The pouch, lump of flesh. And we will continue on because there's nothing else here. But you can jump down to the area that will eventually lead you to a troll and the entrance to the Godrick boss fight. As this part, I do run over my time a little bit. The last part was a little shorter. This part a little bit longer. I try to generally keep it between an hour and 15 to an hour and a half for the parts of my videos, so that they don't go too long. You can attempt to jump over there. I missed the jump. We already got the Ash of War, so we're not worried about the scarab disappearing, and we're going to grab the stuff, the item back here where all the living jars are. There's Big Daddy Jar. Not quite Alexander, but still can be dangerous. They hit very hard, so be careful. Drop raw meat dumpling and living jar shards. So the living jars, um, I explained this after the Radon fight, I believe, when we talked to Alexander. But the living jars, they actually get they're farmed by quote unquote poachers for the living jar shards that they create, because the living jar shards are very powerful. They're very highly sought after. Um, so we got those from that area. We got cracked jars, which is wonderful, and we are down here by the Godrick entrance. That's the troll. If we took the other route, and we have a site of grace. But this is not where we want to be yet. We don't want to fight Godrick. We haven't finished off Stormveil Castle. So we just grabbed the site of grace. We're going to go back up, and we're going to take the elevator back down so that we can get to the underground part of Stormveil Castle. I do show here that this door doesn't open from this side. But if you come out here, you turn to the right from this site of grace here. We grab a smithing stone, and we can drop down to get to the bottom. I talk about the other side there. I know how to get to the bottom part. I still don't remember how to get to the top part of that part, but that's okay. There's not really too much over there, maybe some smithing stones. But you're going to take damage if you drop down normally. If you have a cotton, you can use the cotton, which we will use later, because I'm not going to survive this first attempt. So we get two smithing stone 2s off that body. There are bats here. Take them out. We like the smithing stone 2s because that means we can upgrade either of our weapons, the staff or our uchi. Now, if you start as a samurai, you get the uchi right off the bat. I believe I explained this when I grabbed it. So you can end up with 2 uchi katanas, and you can dual wield the uchis if you start as a samurai, because the starting weapon for a samurai is the uchi. But we are going down there, so we need to jump across back here. And we're going to jump down. And it's right about here, that I notice that I haven't had any sound the whole time. Here's where we're going to end. This is the end of the part as I figure out some sound issues. The sound will come on at the end of the video. But I do want to thank you for watching this part and listening to my stupid voiceover with not much other sound, because I was stupid and didn't have any audio for this whole section. But from here on out, we do have audio. It's not quite as good. As you see, I popped up on my camera there. But I thank you. Hit that like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. You want to see more. The next part should be out fairly soon. I generally do 2 parts per day. Sometimes a couple days in between. Yep, we're about to get sound back, and I will see you in the next part. Enjoy me celebrating the fact that I have sound back, and we'll have sound in the next part. Before we go down to the bottom, this is a good spot for me to stop. So I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.